Okay, this is my week 3 coding assignment. The first one we had to do was to create an array. I created an array here called ages. Then we had to push a number into the array, and I used ages.push. Then I found the last index in their array and set it to the variable last index with ages.length -1. And then I found the first index is always 0, so I put 0 in there. That was put into first index. Then I took the last index and subtracted it from the first index. And that console logs the sub index that I made there, which is 27. Then we had to find the sum of all the numbers in the array. I used the for loop to run through the array and go into the variable sum, which gives the total of the array altogether. And then took the sum of the array and divided it by the length. Then I console logged it to MathFloor, which makes it a whole number without decimals. So that's the average age of this array up here. And that came out to 28. And if I change it to 930 and run it again, it'll change it to 121. The next question, we created the array with all the names in it. I did the same thing, did the loop, the average letters of the array. It's almost the same thing, just with names, and then you concatenate all the names here. And this is the same loop, it just runs through and gets all the names and then concatenates it with a space in between. And then this console logs the concatenate, and it did that right here. Okay, and then it's how to access the last element of the array. You would console log the array dot length -1, or you can just choose the array, and then this is choosing the portion in the array, which is the length -1. It's assuming you don't know the last number in the array. It would be 2, but to find it, if you don't know the length of the array, you -1. And then the first element's always 0, so the next question was find the first element in the array. The next one is, it's doing the names length. You're pushing names into a new array, an empty array. So down here, we pushed name lengths, and it pushed it runs through all the names and pushes it into a new array. The names that are up here in the Sam Tommy. Then it gives you the average. It iterates over the names lengths and calculates the sum of all the elements in the array, which is here, 23. The next question writes a function that takes 2 parameters, word and end. So you can take the word and end function. So the parameters are word and end, and you can come down here and put in whatever you want and the number, and it'll do that many in the console here. So I can type it 30 times and it'll run it 30 times. I can change the name to just hello, and it'll do hello 3 times. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, then you take another function to make a whole name function. We'll put these 2 names together in the log with a space in between. We took the sum of 2 different arrays, ran it through a for and an if else statement, And if it was the sum of it was greater than 100, it would return true. If not, it would run false. So if it was less than 100, it would run false. Then I made another array that takes the array of numbers and returns the average of all elements in the array. Did the same for loop and ran it through the array, returned the sum and divided it by the length. And you could put any array in here from this whole list. This one takes two arrays of numbers and returns true if the average elements in the first array is greater than the average elements in the second array. So we ran the array, the reduce method here, and reduced them to get the sum on the first array and the second array. This is also dynamic. You can change the arrays in the function down here to any array in this whole sheet, and it'll pump out whether it's true or false. This one, if it's hot outside is true, and the money in your pocket is greater than $10.50, it will run true. If you change it to 49 cents, it will change to false right here. False, and then go back to 50, and it's true. And then after that, I made my own function to gather the temperatures of the week. And if it is not numbers, it will return beautiful instead of the number. We use the reduce method again, and it's also dynamic. You can change this function or the array down here to anything that has numbers in it or letters, and it'll turn out to be beautiful. But if you have the numbers in it, it'll reduce them all down and give you the average, which is down here.